Hi everyone, David Aragona and Mike Beer here taking a look at the first of the 6 stakes races on Saturday at Aqueduct. Race 3 is the Grade 2 Demoiselle, this one for the 2-year-old fillies, going the 1 mile and an eighth distance around 2 turns, a real test of stamina for these juvenile fillies. Only 6 runners signed on for this race, Mike, but I do think we've got one in here going out for the Todd Pletcher barn that has a right to be pretty good. We'll see. The number 3, Zany. She was awfully impressive on debut down at Gulfstream Park, and coming up north, she's not catching the toughest field that we've ever seen for the Demoiselle.
She's got that going for her. Her debut was a pretty impressive race. It's not like there's, not things working against her here, David. It's only her second start. She's shipping up. She's going to stretch all the way out around 2 turns. But there are certainly things to like about this filly. She was pretty impressive first time out.
Let's take a look at the Timeform US pace projector for this race, Mike. And I think one of the advantages for a horse like Zany is it looks like she's got plenty of tactical speed, and she is drawn well outside of the horse that looks like it's her main pace rival. That's the number 2, Shilling. I imagine there'll be some intention to go forward with that filly stretching out from 1-turn races to a 2-turn race. But Zany can just basically play the break. Irad Ortiz can look to the left, see if Christopher Elliott is being aggressive. So I don't know if Zany's going to be clearly in front like this pace projector shows, but she should be able to get good early position in the clear.
I agree with all that stuff. She certainly showed enough speed in her debut to expect her to be forward in here. But Shilling, you're right. I mean, she's been on the lead her last 2 starts. She's a really good gate horse, too. She gets out of the gate well, and she has easy speed. So I won't be surprised if she at least beats Zany to the first turn.
Let's go through this field from the rail out, beginning with the number 1, Jumping the Gun. This is a horse coming in from the Mid-Atlantic region, having competed all 4 times so far at Delaware Park. She has won a couple of stakes races, including one last time where she was second going the 1 mile distance around 2 turns, so at least she's got a little bit of 2-turn experience. I didn't love the way that she finished off that race, Mike. She was off a little bit slowly in the early stages, so that's a minor excuse for her, and she made a wide move, but she kind of got there in mid-stretch and just couldn't really forge past the winner of that race. I will say that stakes event is proving to be a race of decent quality for a Delaware Stakes. I mean, horses have come back and run some decent speed figures out of it. So it's not like she's moving way up in class here. I just wonder a little bit about the 9 furlongs.
Yeah, I had the same concern with her. I mean, she was obviously a really precocious horse, too. They bet her really hard in her first 3 starts sprinting, and she won all those races. When I tried to stretch her out last time, I'm with you. I just didn't really see some kind of big excuse for her there. And, I'm not really sure that she improved going the 2-turn mile last time. I'm not going to argue with this spot. The 73 buyer she earned, suggests that she can maybe go with these horses. I just didn't really love the visual of the route debut.
The number 2, Shilling, she won the local prep for this, the Tempted Stakes, by 4 lengths over a 1-turn mile in early November. We'll take a look at the stretch run of that race. And Mike, they just kind of let her basically run up to the lead pretty easily down the backstretch. It didn't seem like anybody was too aggressively ridden in the early stages. Christopher Elliott, as he so often does, took advantage of that situation, put this filly on the front end. She got very comfortable there, was able to spurt away at the top of the stretch, and went pretty comfortably in the end over today's rival, Believable, who we'll get to in just a little bit. She was the second place finisher in this race. This is a horse that they liked a lot on their debut, Mike. She took a lot of money that day. They totally went off her second time out. She got dismissed at 18-1 by the bettors, as now has won that race. Took down the Tempted next time, so she's going for her 3rd in a row. We'll see, though, if the 9 furlong distance is just a little bit too far for her.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't really want to knock her. She's run well in all 3 of her starts, even the loss first time out. And I do respect that she has very easy speed. She gets out of the gate. She gets out of the gate well, and they don't have to send her necessarily to make the lead, but she's just got that easy speed to get there. I don't know, man. I thought her maiden win was actually really good, and then I just didn't love the Tempted. She did what she had to do in there, and she got the job done. I just didn't love that race overall. I feel like it's going to be harder for her to beat this field. We'll see.
The number 3, Zany, likely to be the heavy favorite in this race off a visually impressive debut victory at Gulfstream Park. And really, Mike, I mean, the only knock I have against her is the fact that this race came at Gulfstream Park, because you don't think of Todd Pletcher debuting his better 2-year-olds down in Florida, especially in the fall. But when you look up this race in DRF Formulator, it kind of checks out. I mean, the runner-up came back to run pretty well, improving her buyer speed figure. The 3rd place finisher came back and improved her buyer by 17 points next time out, I think finishing 2nd in a maiden race that got a decent speed figure. And just like the visual for Zany, you could see coming through the stretch, she's got this big, long stride on her. I mean, she gives you the confidence when you watch her run that she's supposed to really appreciate route distances.
Exactly. I saw all the same things. And you were mentioning, the 2nd and 3rd finishers exiting that race to come out and run really well. The horse that finished 3rd is the one that Zany was basically racing early in there, and she just absolutely buried that horse. And then the horse that finished 2nd was a pretty heavy favorite in that race, sort of sitting a really nice trip in there. and she just never got anywhere near Zany through the stretch. This horse was very impressive first time out.
I will say, you always want to take the speed figures at Gulfstream Park, especially on the dirt, with a grain of salt, because they don't run a whole lot of dirt races down there. They only ran 2 dirt races on this day, but the other dirt race was just 2 races later. It was also a race at the exact same distance for older horses, starter allowance, and she ran faster as a 2-year-old. So I think that's a fair comparison. I can have some confidence in the 76 buyer. The number 4, Concurrently, she's likely to be the second choice in this race, especially given the connections that she's going out for. Chad Brown, ridden by Flavian Pratt, and everything that he gets aboard has been taking a lot of money in recent months at Aqueduct. And Mike, this filly took 3 starts to break her maiden. We'll take a look at that maiden victory, going the 1 mile distance last time out. And I like that she's taken a subtle step forward each time. I mean, she wasn't a turf horse on debut. She handled the dirt pretty well second time out. I thought that she was even more professional in this race, where she showed a lot of speed going to the front end. And she gets a challenge from her stablemate in the late stages. And I like the way that she was able to dig in to hold off that rival.
I like that too. This horse seems like the stablemate there is a first-time starter. We should point that out. But that horse does have, it seemed like she had some good momentum there at the end, and Concurrently really engaged that horse and was never going to let her go by. I give her some extra credit for that, although overall she had a pretty nice trip in that race. 2-back, I mean, listen, she just missed a Believable, and I don't think she had, some kind of huge excuse in there, but she missed a brutal head bob at the end of that race. Otherwise, she was going to win there.
The number 5, Ivy Girl, she is going out for trainer Amelia Green, and I imagine hustled into this race. I can't imagine they were targeting this after she debuted in a $40,000 maiden claimer at Parks. She competed at that same level at Aqueduct last time, did get the job done, though not beating a field of future stakes horses, and I'm not sure that she's won either. She did really improve second time out, Mike, but she would need another big step forward.
Yeah, maybe she'll come, show up here and standing against her will blow up in my face, but I didn't try too hard to make a case for her.
The number 6, Believable. She is the other Todd Pletcher runner in this race. As Mike said, she did win a pretty lucky head bob on debut when she just nosed out Concurrently. The number 4 in this race. Believable came back last time in the Tempted. We showed the replay already. She was no match for Shilling. And I thought that performance was a little bit disappointing, Mike, because she did some likable things on debut. She didn't break that well, overcame that, and was up in the mix every step of the way. But she just could never really keep pace in the Tempted last time. She was a little wide, didn't really put in much of a run through the stretch. Now they're putting blinkers on, I guess, hoping for her to run a more complete race here. She is at least supposed to handle added ground, because there is nothing but stamina in this pedigree.
Exactly. And then maybe the blinkers are going on to maybe get her out of the gate a little bit more. Both times she hasn't been sharp from the gate in either of her races. So we'll see. I'm with you on the debut. I mean, yes, she got a little bit lucky there to get her head down on the wire. The flip side of that is she did a ton of hard work in that race up on the pace. And I thought she really earned that win. Thought maybe she would run a little bit better in the Tempted last time. She did not. I didn't like her performance in there, and I don't like that race overall. But maybe she'll move forward here with added distance.
Everybody, if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to drop us a comment down below to let us know who you like in the Grade 2 Demoiselle on Saturday. Let's go to the picks for Mike and me in this race. And Mike, I don't think either one of us is getting too creative here. We both put the number 3, Zany, on top. I was pretty taken with the visual of her debut, as I imagine you were, and just didn't see anybody else in this field that showed the kind of brilliance we saw from her first time out.
Yeah, I think maybe more than anything else. And I do like her debut. I thought she showed some real ability in there, but maybe even more than that, I just feel like Pletcher shipped her up here. Finds a pretty good spot here to try a graded stakes race around 2 turns. I'm going to take her in here just because I don't really like anybody else.
3-4-2-6 for Mike and 3-4-1-6 for me in the first stakes race on Cigar Mile Saturday. Race 3, the Grade 2 Demoiselle. Good luck if you're playing the races later this weekend.